it's Alex. I dyed my hair in case you guys did not notice. I decided to go to my natural color. Last year I decided to go to like that little ombre thing to where like my roots were all natural and then the rest of it was blonde. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about a subject that is really touchy. It's going to be on a topic about bullying and my story about being bullying and how I ended up in a crisis facility for almost a month. The moment I transferred schools and went to this new school, nobody talked to me. I was that kid that was excluded from everything. They wouldn't let me play on the playground with them. They wouldn't talk to me. The only time I was talked to was when they asked me to do something for them. They would ask me to go to the library and pick up their books for them. I would pick up their pencils, I'd bring them their book bags. I did everything in hopes that in return, someone would be nice to me and actually carry on a conversation with me, but it's terrible. Every single morning before school started, we would all sit in the lobby until the bell rang, and we would sit in like a little circle, and I'd be that one kid that was like excluded from the circle. And I remember the girls would sit there and like, oh my god, Alex, why are you wearing that shirt? Nobody likes that. You're so ugly. They would just picked on me for everything. Like, they picked on my clothes, they picked on my way my hair was. I used to have my hair like cut really short when I was little because I liked it. I don't know why. I looked like a mushroom. They picked on me for anything possible. I was the shortest kid in the class. I had the tiniest ears, the tiniest hands. I still wear a child's shoe size now. I wear a size 2.5 to 4. But back then, everybody was like in women's shoes and I was still in children's shoes. You're 8 years old and people pick on you for stuff like that. You don't know what to say. You're gonna be like, oh, maybe there actually is something wrong with me. 4th grade year came. It got worse. At lunch, they would pick over my food and they would eat my food. They would ask if they could have it, and me being the nice person that I am, I said yeah. It eventually became a habit not to eat lunch. Not eating breakfast and then not eating lunch and only going home to maybe eat dinner. I went from being that kid that was so happy to being that kid that didn't even talk to you. I would get in the car and I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't say 2 words. It was terrible. Since everybody always took my lunches, it became a habit for me not to eat meals, so breakfast was already knocked out. Then lunch became knocked out, and then snacks eventually became knocked out because I just didn't feel like eating. I remember one day this girl was like, you need braces. You smile too much. You need braces. Your teeth are crooked. You look like a beaver. There was even kids' grades below me that picked up on it and started calling me a beaver. Why would you say those things to a little girl? Why would you say those things being a little girl that you are? I was never invited to sleepovers. I think I went to maybe 3 sleepovers my whole childhood. I just wasn't invited. And if I was invited, we went to this one party and we were all taking off our clothes and like running in a circle if you got tagged or something. I don't remember. Everybody tagged me and they told me I had to take off my clothes and I wouldn't do it. I would not take off my clothes and they kept picking on me and making fun of me because I wouldn't do it. At that same party, this girl had like a whole bunch of horses and stuff there. They were playing like a scavenger hunt and everybody ditched me. And they left me in the dark. I came out and all scared me and I literally almost had a panic attack. It was terrible. 5th grade year came. I remember walking from recess and this girl came up behind me and yanked my hair and asked me, why do you wear your hair like that, Alex? You're so ugly. I never got to play on the playground. I would swing on the swings until kids would come and tell me to get off. I wanted people to like me so bad. 6th grade year came. I stayed in 6th grade, I think, for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I had to be homeschooled. But when I told everybody that I was being withdrawn from school, everybody automatically felt bad for me and asked me why I was transferring. I had told the principal from 3rd to 5th grade what had been going on, and it was my fault. Even the principal yelled at me. When I called my mom one time and asked to go home, the principal yelled at me and told me to stop being a baby. I was locked in bathroom stalls. I'm terrified of bathrooms now. Like, if you lock me in the bathroom or turn off the light on me, I have a panic attack. I am so scared of restrooms now because so many things were done to me that traumatized me. I mean, I was 8 years old. Can you imagine being 8 years old going to a school that you don't know anybody? You go to the restroom and they lock you, like hold your stall door and turn off the light on you. So in 6th grade, I became homeschooled. At the age of, I think, about 10 to 11, I had developed the habits of anorexia. It was not completely bad, but there were parts where I didn't eat meals. When I was 13, my anorexia developed into bulimia. So I had anorexia with bulimic tendencies, and I was throwing up everything. I threw up when I brushed my teeth. I threw up when I drank water. There were days where I wouldn't even drink water. I wouldn't drink anything because I was so scared that I was going to gain water weight. became obsessed with going on these pro-Mia and pro-Anna websites. I was obsessed with thinspo. Tumblr became like my go-to for thinspo. I followed so many anorexia, eating disorder blogs that happy girl that was there just wasn't there anymore. And when I was 14, I came across this blog on Tumblr talking about self-harming, and I always swore I would never do it. People on Tumblr were talking about how it relieved stress, made things better. I was desperate for anything to get better then, so I tried it. I eventually got to the point where I would buy the razors and then just take them apart with tweezers and scissors and keep the blades. When I was 15, I came downstairs and my mom saw the band-aids on my wrist. It happened. And I was like, oh no, it's just the cat. She yanked the band-aids off. She's like, cats don't cut that straight. And that's the day she found out everything. That day they called a counselor up in Marietta, Georgia. I saw him for about a month. Convinced him that I was fine, that there was nothing wrong with me, that I was happy, that I was okay, I'd been making progress, and I lied. I did not want to be that kid that saw a counselor. I mean, imagine what those kids would have said if they knew that. That summer, I had a meltdown. I lost it. Suicide felt like the only answer, but I couldn't do it. I was petrified. I just couldn't do it. And then my mom came in one day, and when I broke down on her, I had a full meltdown. She asked me what I wanted to do, where I wanted to get help, what they could do to help, and I said I wanted to go to a facility, that I wanted to go to a rehabilitation center. The outpatient just wasn't working for me. A week later from then, I disappeared from all of my friends, from social networking, my animal. I was driven 45 minutes. I had an assessment. They told me I had 20 minutes to get home, pack my stuff, and then to meet them back and to follow them down to the county to where I was going. I was in that facility for 2.5 weeks. It was probably one of the longest weeks I've ever experienced. I mean, you walk in these doors and you're like, oh, I'm here for a reason. I need help. The beds had the pillows built in. The blankets had holes in them so that you couldn't suffocate yourself. Someone went with you to the restroom. Someone went with you when you took a nap. I was watched 24/7 sleeping. I was watched to eat. Everything I ate during lunch was jogged down into a book. It was a lot. People watched me like I was crazy. And I thought I used to be crazy, but you know, I realized that after coming out of that and having 2 years of counseling following up since then, I've actually been out of counseling for a year now. I realized that I'm not crazy. Just because you have problems and just because somebody makes fun of you and says terrible things to you does not mean that you are crazy, and that does not mean that you are those things they're saying to you. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I have scars mentally and physically. Everybody's fighting a battle. You need to think before you speak to somebody, before you even judge that person. You need to think why they act the way they do, why they're so hostile, why they're antisocial, why they wear all black. Just because they do something that you don't understand does not mean that you need to be hateful on them and say the rude things that you do, because you may not think that your words matter, but your words mean so much more than what you think. If it was not for me going to the facility and for me having those 2 years of counseling and finally understanding that it's good to feel good about yourself. It's okay to feel good about yourself. It's okay to call yourself gorgeous. It's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay. It's okay to do what you want to do. It's okay to feel the feelings you're feeling. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry sometimes. Everybody cries. Everybody feels bad. Just don't take it out on yourself. If you can't do it, get help. Talk to somebody. And if you can't afford the help or you don't have the transportation, there are websites online. There are so many outlets that you can go to rather than taking it out on yourself. You can get through this. I promise. If I can get through it, you can get through it. You're not crazy, no matter what any of those people say to you. You're worth it. You're worth everything. It doesn't matter what you believe in or who you are. You're a human. You have the right to be happy. There are people out there who are going through what you're going through, and trust me, there is somebody out there that cares. Keep that smile on your face and push through it. If anybody's picking on you, click the links below. If you need help, make sure you please click the links below. DM me, tweet me, it doesn't matter. I will listen to you. I may not be able to respond, but I will listen to you, and just don't give up on yourself.